Hi, Syd. Okay, so situation. I feel like we all have this happen at some point in our lives when there are weddings, there's bachelorette trips. You want to visit friends, you want to see people take trips for yourselves, or for ourselves. But how do you say no and prioritize when you're trying to plan your budget and traveling for the year, especially when you want to say yes to everything and be there for all of your friends, all of your people, but you just can't do it all. So let us know your advice. I would love to hear it.
Starting today with a call, Syd, because it just feels fitting. Today's episode is about weddings, and part of the wedding struggle is also the weddings that you're in or the weddings that you want to go to. This person is clearly stressed financially about the situation. I would say you are not obligated to be at anything, especially if it's stressing your finances. I don't care if it is your best friend. If you are going to be uncomfortable in your financial situation, you are not obligated to be there. I think that's a hot take. I know people will be pissed. I know people will come after me for that. I don't care. When you're put in a financial situation that doesn't feel good, that's not helping anybody. In fact, you'd probably be there and kind of be a Debbie Downer, just a little bit, right? Not meaning to be, or a little bit cheaper, not knowing, wanting to spend on things, especially for this person where flying is the only option to get to these weddings. That's what at least it sounds like. So I would say remove the pressure of needing to be at every wedding, remove the pressure of needing to be at every single thing. Sometimes, frankly, you just can't make it happen. I know of people who have had faraway weddings, and they knew that not everybody was going to be able to come. They went either out of the country or somewhere further in the US. They knew that not everybody was going to be there. And they knew that knowing, okay, this is going to be expensive, but that maybe isn't what everybody can make happen right now. And that is okay. I'm inviting you as an extension of me. I hope you can make it. It's not a mandatory thing. So remove the pressure. But if you do want to make it work, my rule of thumb is okay, after you do all your budgeting, what is feasible for you to save? Okay. So you should have a rainy day fund. I've talked about this in the episode with Jordan about finances. Some sort of rainy day fund where it's savable money that you actually have the opportunity to spend, if it's travel or if it's a wedding or if it's, car fixes or whatever it needs, your needs are for that time. That's that rainy day fund. So whether it be $50 a paycheck, $100 a paycheck, whatever you can do, that will start to add up. And that is your rainy day, wedding fund. I will say too, especially if it's a away wedding, don't expect people to buy you gifts. Especially since me personally, I'm in my mid to late 20s. Late 20s, that scares me. I haven't said that out loud yet, but I don't expect anybody at my wedding to bring me gifts if I do it far away. I think it is a lot to ask of people to come to a wedding and ask also for gifts. So you have to be reasonable about what you're expecting from your people. And remember that everybody does not have the same financial situation as you, whether it be better or whether it be worse. End story, end case. That's what I would do. Don't expect everybody at your wedding. Don't expect everybody at your batch. And without further ado, let's get into this episode. Okay, I kind of want to start out with another hot take. I'm all over the hot takes today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's late. Maybe because I'm recording into the night. Maybe it's my fun camel pants and shirt. By the way, this is from the Couture Club. I like their pants, their shirts, their athletic things. I did get a hoodie set. I didn't like it. I actually was testing it out for material for my apparel that's coming soon. I wasn't a fan. Don't know why. But my hot take, without further ado, is you cannot be the guy that does an away wedding and an away bachelorette. And right after I'm saying that, just kidding, you absolutely can, but you just can't expect everybody to be there. So I'm not going to lie, before being in the position of a wedding, I thought it might be kind of a lot to ask for somebody to be at an away wedding and be at an away bachelorette. I don't disagree at that. I still think that's a lot to ask of people, but I don't expect it. And I'm going to follow what I would like to do for my special day, send out the invitations for my people, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. And personally, now I can finally spill the beans and don't have to hold it in. I am having a wedding in Arizona. in next October. And I'm so excited. The venue is called the Paseo. So if you're listening and you're not driving, I'm watching you, not driving, you can go look it up on Instagram. I'm like tears in my eyes, even saying it out loud. But I also am going to have a batch, and my bachelorette is going to be in Miami, and I'm going to shake that ass. Okay. I'm going to throw that ass in a circle, have a boat day, probably do a spa day too, depending on what's affordable, because that sounds like a lot already. But I'm going to have 2 away like extravaganzas in 2025. And I do not expect all my people to be able to make that work. I don't expect anyone to do anything that's going to make them feel uncomfortable or put them in a funky financial situation. You don't need to be that friend that bends over backwards anymore. We know who our real friends are. We know who's there for us, who's doing all the things for us, who's there for us unconditionally. That is more than enough. So that's my expectation with that. Like, you can do away bachelorette, away wedding, but don't expect everybody to be there. Even your best friends, like, they might not be able to make it happen, and that is okay. You can't expect everything out of all these people to like be perfect. And give affordable options if that's something that you're going to do. Like, we've been really working on in Arizona. Okay. So I'll tell you the story about how we picked our venue, but finding like multiple options for hotels that we think are decent hotels. Hotels are hard to find in bulk, by the way, but like, I got to find a hotel block if I'm going to have people that are coming from out of town. Some people might get Airbnbs. We're going to offer like a little bit of a higher end hotel option, and then one that's more affordable, relatively speaking, right? This is all relative, and both are great, but I don't want anyone to feel pressed already coming to Arizona and like trying to find a hotel to stay at that's affordable. And now they're like finding a different one, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I know that when at faraway weddings, I went for the cheaper hotel option because that was what was in my budget. So I want to make sure that everybody that's coming to my wedding is seen and heard in that sense. So, okay, wedding. Why don't I tell you my wedding updates? So we chose our venue I'm jumping around a little bit because it's like batch and wedding, but like a little bit of both. I'll do a full episode on bachelorettes, but I just love that one about like, can you be the friend that doesn't go, or like, how do you afford all these things? And especially in my season of life right now, so many people are getting engaged. Holy shite. It is like, what the F? It is insane. And everybody says, oh, you're going to get in the season of life. Everyone's going to get engaged. It's going to be a little bit crazy. I'm in it right now. And even next year, I'm thinking about, I think I have so far, just like knowing off the top of my head, 7 weddings. And majority, if not all of those, I will be at the Bachelorette for. That's 14 trips. And that's not even counting my wedding or my bachelorette. So I'm not going to be able to make everything happen, and that is okay. But the season of life is intense. It's also, I see and hear the people that are maybe single in this season of life. That would be very frustrating and feel very isolating. But there's a time and a place for everybody and everything in life. And I just want you to recognize that you can be happy for your people, but you can also kind of feel like a little bummed. But I don't want it to retract you from finding what you want. It doesn't mean that your now is a wedding and an engagement. Your now could be just learning about yourself and then opening yourself up to somebody new. So I just want to leave that there and leave that on the table. But season of life is crazy. We went to Arizona. We've been traveling down there a lot. Everyone always asks us like, what's the tie to Arizona? I did used to live there. That has nothing to do with it. Literally nothing, like no reason why we chose it. We just like to travel there a lot. And honestly, I don't even know what else to say. I like the sun. I like hiking. I love being outside and how spread out everything is. So there's like, you could drive 10 minutes one way and play pickleball, and 10 minutes the other way and play, like go to your favorite gym, like 20 gyms, or like, all these things that we really like to do. Jordan can golf at like 50 golf courses out there. And it's just like our happy place. It's like our getaway happy place. We had to find a happy medium. I think every couple has to find a happy medium. I came to the table wanting a wedding in Italy, which is so unrealistic now that I know myself and expenses. Jordan wanted a wedding in Minnesota at a golf club here. I did not want a wedding in Minnesota. Jordan hard node. Whoa, Deacon, don't move my camera. Hard node a wedding option in Italy. He was like, absolutely not. We're not going out overseas. We are going somewhere where we both feel comfortable. So fast forward, me shouting out California, no, Miami, no, like all these different places. We landed on Arizona. So we started looking at venues probably like right after we got engaged, I think like 3 months after, and we just started like casually looking. We didn't know when we wanted to get married. We didn't know how quick we were going to do it, but we didn't rush to anything. And I think that was a huge thing for us. It felt really good to have time. We ended up finding a few venues that we were excited about, but we ultimately picked the Paseo. That's the place where we're getting married, if you want to look it up, like I said, because my most important things in my wedding are that my people feel comfortable being there. They feel welcome. They feel excited to be in this new place, letting loose, living, enjoying the wedding, partying. That was my most important thing. My number one, people feeling comfortable at my wedding. At these other venues, I won't lie, some of them are snooty tooty, and I'm not even going to say them out loud because I think a lot of people had amazing weddings at these places. I think you could absolutely have an amazing wedding at this place, but I wasn't feeling it. I was like, I don't like the vibes I'm getting from this place. I can already see the hidden cost just like twinkling around of like, if someone wandered over here or like a can fell on the ground, or if we plate your, I don't know, cake, maybe that's for everywhere. We're going to cost, it's going to be another 15 grand. I just can't with that. I need more of a blank slate, which is opposite of some people, because I want to have the freedom to do all the things that we want to do. When you are wedding planning, it is so unbelievably important to sit down with your fiance or your soon to be fiance and write out what your most important items are for the wedding. 3. Just pick 3. What are your top most important things? Because both people should be able to get both of their 3 groupings of items. For example, Jordan had late night McDonald's snack. He had open bar, and I believe he had outside. Okay. Those were his 3 non-negotiables items he wanted for the wedding. I know that I personally had outdoor wedding. I had, let me think about this one. Out of state. So like out of Minnesota, no matter what, that was my ask. And then I also had, I think I had nothing before 10 p.m. Like I didn't want the party to end at 10 p.m. So we sat down, we said, okay, no matter what happens here, we love each other. This is for us. This is a celebration for us. We are not going to butt heads. Let's at least get each other exactly what we want on our top 3 things. And we did just that. So we found a venue. That was another thing, is finding a venue that can do all of those things. Our venue, by the way, asking the right questions. Hello, which we'll talk about in a second, but asking them, can I bring in my own alcohol? Because holy shite, that saves you so much money. Oh my God. Us just being able to bring in our own alcohol is going to save us thousands of dollars. To put it lightly. Okay. Are there random fees for organizing the area or like reorganizing the space? Are there required purchases or vendors? Is the vendor list robust? Like, is it a good vendor list for what I'm choosing? And vendor list meaning food, drink, desserts, furniture. Like, am I required to work with your like makeup artist? Am I required to hire your employees? Like, what is required for me to be at this location? There's a few other good ones. I'll have to think about it a little bit more, but those were the questions that I was like, okay, ultimately I can love a place, but it is about the cost, because I'm not about to spend an astronomical amount of money on this beautiful day. Although it's going to be the best day ever, I don't want to do that. That's what I want to leave you with. Thinking about what are the right questions to ask. What am I actually wanting to know when I'm looking at these venues? And also just like, where are my hidden fees? Like, where is it that like, if X happens after X hour, like what happens? For instance, one of these is, when can I clean up? Because you bet your ass I will not be cleaning up after my wedding, like at 11, 12 p.m. at night. Like, no way, Jose, not happening. So that was like a must have. A lot of venues should come with a day of planner or someone to like be there to help you. And ideally they'll help you a little bit before. Even if you have a wedding planner, that is a must to ask for. Okay. Absolutely. I also will say, one of my friends in Arizona had a wedding planner, and this wedding planner lives in Arizona. She is in the wedding industry. She's going to help us with all things like coordinating, use this vendor, don't use that vendor. They're, they're upcharging you. Like, let's try to work around it. I have a relationship with them, so they won't do that. So having somebody that is like local to the area, I will say, even just from what I know, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later from advice from everybody else, get the wedding planner. Get the wedding planner. If you have to cut on flowers to do it, or on like an extra dessert or whatever it is, plated cake, I don't give a shit. Get the wedding planner for your sanity, my friends. For your sanity. Do it for me. If you can't do it for me, do it for you. Okay? Okay, good. Glad we landed on that. Talking quick about just like bridal party and, like getting your group together. I want to listen to this TikTok that I saw because it kind of sits parallel with what I've been feeling, especially considering I have quite a large friend group, just from college and pre-college and all these things. So I'm going to play this TikTok and we're going to talk about it.
Okay, so a lot of this is personal preference. I just really like the idea of that day being about us. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, having your friends up there helps, like with nerves or whatever. But as mentioned, like we're not doing vows, so that's less scary. And I can see them in the seats. But I think we need to normalize it. Like bridesmaids are asked to do so much, spend so much money, and I'll probably still have like a bachelorette. And I have friends that'll definitely help the day of, but I don't want people coming to my wedding like having any job. I really want everyone to just enjoy their time. Another thing personally for me is like, because I'm doing black tie, I know that my tight circle of friends are going to come dressed to the nines, and probably they will be setting the bar for everyone else. So I don't want them to be stuck in a bridesmaid's dress, and no one loves their bridesmaid's dress anyway. Another personal thing, like me and my fiance just couldn't really agree on the same number of people, and we're not going to have like an uneven bridal party. And something I just thought of now is that this is probably going to shorten the ceremony a little bit more, and everyone loves a short ceremony. This will also probably eliminate some of the time that we need to spend in photos. I've been at countless weddings where you don't see the couple for like a very long time after the ceremony, and I just want to like come out and like celebrate with everyone.
That's also my opinion on bridal parties. I'm not going to lie to you. So newsflash, or, the cat's out of the bag. I'm not having a bridal party. I am just having my sister and Jordan's brother, and possibly involving Jordan's sisters too. But then we have an uneven number, which I don't really think it matters all that much, because I've got a large friend group, because so many of my friends are getting married this coming year, and because I just am not somebody who wants to herd people or herd cats for that matter, because I just want to enjoy my day and I want everybody else to come enjoy their day. It has nothing to do with who I'm close with, because I have the most amazing people in my life, the most amazing friends. I can't even express you. I just don't want that stress on my shoulders. I'm sorry, but I don't want to pick out your dress. I don't really care how you're doing your hair or your makeup on my day. It's my day. Sorry. I know that's horrible. That's probably horrible and people are going to come after me. I don't care. Maybe that's selfish. It's my day, so I really don't give a shit. And it's the day that I'm paying for. So again, I've had the best time in my friends' weddings, like literally the best time getting my hair done, getting my makeup done. I've always liked actually my bridal or my dresses, but having a bridal party is not something that's in the cards for me. What I will do though, because of this, is I'm still going to have people that I ask to be a part of my day. So I know you're like, wait, what? What are you? That's literally the exact same thing. No, I'm just not going to tell them what to wear. I'm not going to tell them how to do their makeup or their hair. It's going to be black tie. Everyone's going to be dressed up. It's going to look great. But I want my friends to be there when I'm getting ready. And I'll probably prioritize them getting pictures with me at some point during the party. Maybe it's during the cocktail hour or whatever, just like in the regular area with like everybody else. I think for so long, I put everybody else before me. I worried about people, what their perception of our relationship was, if they felt close to me, how they were feeling. And I forgot to sit and literally ask how I felt. And I want to make sure that everything I'm doing moving forward in a way is selfish. I know that sounds crazy, but I deserve that because I need to put myself first. And that's actually not being selfish. So I will leave you with that, but that was what I had my thoughts on that. I will not be having one and I just don't want the pressure of it. Speaking of advice on bridesmaids. If you're having a bridal party, I think that's a beautiful thing. I also think that, again, like I said, I had the most fun in my friends' weddings, like literally so much fun. And they will be standing by my side on my day, just not during my big moment. Okay. So nothing to do with me wanting to be the center of the attention. It's more so, I won't lie, in most situations after asking my friends if they got married, when they got married, if they would have done a bridal party again, most of my friends said no. Most of my friends said their group of close friends changed. Some of the people, by the time they asked them and then the wedding came around, they didn't want that person up there. Like, some of them don't speak anymore and their relationship is like that different. So I am just going to avoid it altogether. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe my logic will change. Who freaking knows? But that's what I'm going to do. Woo, my magnesium powder is hitting, you guys, because I'm having my sleepy time mocktail, but I wasn't expecting it to hit this fast because this one is a new one, but it is working because I'm getting a little bit like, whoa. Okay, back to my Call Syd write-in. This one is about bridesmaids, and if you're having a bridesmaid group in your wedding, let's see how we can help this person. Bridesmaid dilemma. How do I tell my brother's wife she won't be a bridesmaid in my wedding? My fiance and I are getting married next year, and we've had a few arguments about who will stand up in our wedding. My brother and sister-in-law just got married last summer, and I was a bridesmaid in their wedding, and I have a good relationship with my sister-in-law. But my fiance does not like her. He does not want her to be in the wedding because of his personal concerns with her that I support, but I still find it hard to talk to her about it. They are civil with each other and get along at family functions, but me being the non-confrontational person that I am, I've never talked to her about his concerns. I feel like she expects to be a bridesmaid, and I would like to just make her one to avoid letting her down, but I've agreed with my fiance to not have her in the wedding because I want to support him. How do I tell her she will not be a bridesmaid? The awkwardness, being a non-confrontational person as well, the awkwardness inside me right now is cringe. And I really want to take the advice from the best people I know, which are my friends, who have said, don't stress about who's invited to your batch. Don't stress about if you're having a wedding party because it's your fucking day. Take it from the people that teach me all the things I know. It is your day. This person is not in your relationship. In fact, she is considered family, but distant family. She's not your family member though, and she is not one of your best friends. I don't think you owe her an explanation. I think probably owing her a heads up, because there's that like, you were in my wedding, I expect to be in yours, right? Like that type of thing happening. But I would say you don't owe her any explanation. I think you could either A, bite the bullet and have a conversation with her over like, I don't know, ask her to grab coffee. Maybe it is even a text. Expect a little tension depending on the type of person she is, because it sounds like there's some issues with this relationship in general. So she might be kind of like a iffy person and take it a little personally, but that's not your fucking problem. It is not your problem how she takes it. And honestly, you giving her heads up is quite a nice gesture. In fact, you don't need to do that. So you could go about your business and leave it that way, but this is not your problem. You are allowed to do with what you want on your wedding day. And if that means her not being in your bridal party, so be it, my friend. If you want to be a person, and like push aside your non-confrontational self, I would say have the conversation over coffee. Like I said, maybe sit her down and just be like, hey, by the way, I just wanted to let you know before invites go out, my bridal party is kind of small and these are the people that I'm including. I just didn't want you to hear and be upset. It has nothing to do with us as friends, or you don't really need to give her an explanation if you're even telling her, but that's what I would do. Do not put someone in your bridal party out of obligation. Holy shit. That is a mistake. I think a lot of people in their young 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, even 30s have done that. I've heard of people doing it. I haven't been in something that someone has had that happen, but do not do it, because you will be thinking about it up until the wedding and you will regret it, versus not having that person in, taking one awkward moment out of your life and it's over. It's not your problem. You can only literally account for how you react to something, not how someone else reacts to it. I asked my friends, what was the biggest piece of advice that you have for planning a wedding and having a wedding? After the ceremony, spend 15 minutes alone eating your food and having a drink with just the two of you. This is when you can see the little details and the decor of the room that you designed as well. So this one has come from multiple people. They say to just get in there, notice the little things, see the room that you designed, take a minute and like just take a breath with your significant other. Have a cocktail, one of your signature cocktails. Have a few hors d'oeuvres if that's a part of your thing, and just breathe. I feel like there's so much tension, they said, when you're walking up there and standing up there in front of the crowd. You're fucking married now. Take a second to take a breath. Have a day of coordinator. It was the best investment you can make. And like I said, some venues will come with that, but that is the person that will literally figure it out if something's going to go wrong, especially with the space or the power or something like related to the venue. And that is not your problem, nor should it be your mom's or your mother-in-law's or anybody related to you. They should be enjoying their day. Get a wedding planner. Spend the money, but skip out on something else if it's necessary, because it will be so much lifted off your shoulders to have that wedding planner there on your day. One of my friends said, best money you'll ever spend to save your sanity. They also know the best of the best vendors. It falls on them if they mess up. So they literally just won't mess up and the day will go flawlessly. Even if it doesn't, they will take care of it and you won't even find out, which is like the best thing ever. So remove the stress on your shoulders of something going in, imperfectly. No one cares. I'm sure it's like a little like obsessive detail that you're getting all worked up about. Even I find myself trying to find the little details like pre-wedding, and I'm getting all worked up and I'm like, I just need to relax and know that my wedding planner and my day of coordinator, which comes with my venue, which I'm like, hell yeah, are going to have it covered. And I need to just like take a deep breath. If it's in budget, do the video. That was like in all caps, like exclamation point bolded, like get a video of your wedding day so you can remember. Photos are absolutely stunning and beautiful, but they say if you can also remember the moments, maybe it's not the whole video of the whole day, but like little moments of that day, you won't regret it. The DJ or the band can make or break the fun. Make sure they are a good one. Okay. Easy enough. Make sure you got a good one, because otherwise people are going to be like, wah, wah, wah. I have a weird thing about my wedding, and I don't know if I'm like alone in this, but I will not be having any songs that are like YMCA, like get people off their feet, like the Cupid Shuffle. We're not having them at the wedding. I don't know why. Whenever they come on at a wedding, I feel obligated to dance in this weird way, and I just don't like it. And I'm pretending like I know the dances very well, and I definitely don't know them perfectly. I'm not having them. I don't care. I would rather get you up off your freaking ass to Post Malone or somebody fun like that. So that's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. Have a casual welcome party or cocktail hour if you can, just to get your hellos out of the way. That one came up a few times. Of course, that doesn't always mean it's in budget, but you always could do some sort of like, we're meeting up at X bar, we have the back room rented out, or we're meeting up at this bar, we would love to see you before we do our big day. Like everybody's welcome. It's like kind of like a welcome party, but then you don't have to pay for everybody. I know it's like assumed that everything is paid for, but you can really create these experiences within a tighter budget. Like I truly believe that you can. Finally, they just said, don't sweat the little details. The little details aren't what people remember. If you think about a wedding that you've been to, do you remember like the tablecloth and the weird thing in the bathroom, or like, I mean, what else? Like the type of silverware that they had, or the cup that your wine glass was in, or your water was in. No, you don't remember all those things. Little details are meant to make it you and meant to make it fun, but they're not meant to ruin your day. Okay? Don't ruin your day about it. Now that we've talked about things to do on your day, let's talk about invites. This is by far the biggest stressor for me. Who do I invite? Where do you cut it off? Who gets a +1? Who doesn't get a +1, which we'll talk about. But this is a write-in, a Call Syd write-in, and it says, where is the line for who to invite? Where is the line for who to invite? I'm planning a wedding for October 2025. I think this is the same time as you. Yay. Oh my gosh, it is. And each person to invite is very expensive. I hate family drama and my parents won't stop it. They'll add instead of supporting my decisions. On my dad's side of the family, there are many generations still living. I am the third generation and I have second cousins on this side of the family that I can't picture my wedding without. They are ages 21 and 25. But there are also 5 other second cousins on the same side of the family that range from ages 4 to 23 that I am not very close with. Is it bad to not invite them? When we get together for family functions, both sets of second cousins are always there, but we are also trying to not invite the little kids. Lastly, any advice you have on how to go about the question of why aren't you getting married in a church? And the general disappointment from families would be appreciated. Both families are very religious and we aren't. And I'm struggling with constantly getting the negative questions. Thank you. Your podcast is the best. It gives me something to look forward to on Mondays. Thanks for all you do. Aww. Why does that make me like teary-eyed every time I read a compliment about the podcast? I like get all emotional. Okay, lot to unpack here. Drawing the line on who to invite. Well, here, let's start with the easy peasy one. Here's what I say about this. And there's some feedback down below that I'll share, but do you have an amount of money that you can spend on your wedding? Probably. Most people have a budget. If you don't, F you. No, I'm kidding. You're so lucky. But if you are I would say majority of people, I was about to say normal, but just majority of people, you have a set budget. What is within that budget? That is your number. Most people, I don't know, I hear a lot of like 150 people, 125, maybe up to 200, 250, whatever your budget is. I'm not going to get in the weeds of your numbers. Whatever that budget allows for, that is the number that you're going to aim for. They say general rule of thumb, there's like 30 to 20% of people that won't come. So you can over invite, but not if that's over the capacity of your wedding. So let's say, okay, let's take an example. For instance, Jordan and I want to have about 150 people at our wedding, right? That's our number that we're shooting for. It's ending up getting bigger and bigger, but we're trying to shoot for 150. But I know that probably like 20 people maybe won't come. So we might invite like 170, hoping for 150 to come. That number will ebb and flow. Okay. So you got a number, you've got an amount you're spending. Check, check, check. I am of the firm belief that this is your day. I'm going to keep saying it. You do not need to invite out of obligation. Of course, family members and family drama is completely different. I wasn't invited to some of my cousins' weddings. Like, granted, I wasn't that close with them, but that's exactly why I wasn't invited. Did I take it personally? No, I didn't, especially since their weddings were medium to smaller size. And I knew that, okay, clearly I was not like a top pick, and that's okay. We are family, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean obligatory invites to everything. Okay. So I would invite the people that you want to be there. I would hate if, let's say, you can't invite like 5 of your really good friends or decently close friends because you're inviting your rando cousins. Like, no, sorry. And about the kids thing, just don't do kids. Like, if anybody has a problem with that, tell them get a sitter or we're going to miss you. But like, we're not having kids at our wedding. So I'm the same way. No kids at my wedding. They will get a sitter. Those cousins do not need an invite. And another option for this would be if you wanted to do like a family, like wedding celebration, let's just say like a wedding brunch. I know it sounds really random, but like you could do whatever the hell you want. And if it would make you feel better to host like a little family brunch around a holiday or something, or you know what I mean? And just be like, this is kind of like a wedding celebration. We are not having a huge wedding, so you don't even have to explain yourself. I'm catching myself explaining, like telling you to explain yourself. No, you don't. You don't have to do that. You don't have to host anything extra. If you wanted to, you could, but do you, boo-boo. That is the most important thing. Do you. I will add that there are family members that I'm not inviting to my wedding because of just like random circumstances that would cause distance between us, like someone passing that kind of was the glue to our relationship. And I don't feel obligated because I don't see them knocking on my window all the time, checking in on how I am. And I would say I've given an effort in the relationship. And so too bad, so sad. You're not coming to my wedding. Sorry. I think I've done a better job of setting a boundary with family this year and last year. Especially after my grandma passed, it just like kind of puts things in perspective. So reminder that you get to decide who. You don't need to invite all the cousins just because you invited one. It's not your job to make everybody happy. Second part of this question is why aren't you getting married in a church? I was assuming I was going to get this maybe from the more religious side of our families, Jordan and my families, but we didn't get it. And I think everybody knows that our beliefs are not their beliefs and they don't need to be. We're most comfortable outside of a church. I think if you're met with the why aren't you, just answer very, very subtly, because it's not what we were wanting to do, or that doesn't match what our day looks like to us, or it just didn't feel right, or it isn't something that we wanted to do. You don't owe anybody a because. And you know what? They can be religious. They can be the parents that were religious and, had a great upbringing for you. But that means they also, you being an adult, being out of college, being engaged to get married, they don't need to rule your life anymore. I said rule your life anymore. They don't have that power. So don't give them the power. It's toxic environment. Don't give them the power to have an opinion on your day. Here was what a lot of people wrote in about, like, the awkward invites. Like, what do you say to somebody who is struggling with their lists? Like, it's your day. So no matter what, bottom line, it is your day. However you do that, whether it be in a church, without a church, inviting all your cousins or not, I hope to God it was your decision. Here are a few tips to help you decide if you're going to invite somebody or not invite somebody to your wedding. If you are on the fence about inviting somebody, don't. Okay? Literally just don't. If you can't sit with this person one-on-one and have an hour-long conversation, don't do it. Don't invite him. If you can't FaceTime this person right now on your phone, don't do it. Like, why would I want you there if you're going to be awkward, or I'm going to be awkward, or we're not that close? Like, I don't owe you that, period. Someone wrote in, things not to do. Do not feel obligated to invite people to your wedding. So this is a reminder for all of us. I keep saying it, but it's so true. Invite the people that truly mean the most to you. Like, this person said, we had to limit, and I have zero regrets. So make sure you know who are the people that are the most important to me, who fill my cup, who I'm excited about having and celebrating that moment together. I'm going to play another TikTok that I thought was really well worded, and I actually took a lot of pieces of advice from it. And then I'm going to read some listener write-in advice.
This is all the advice that people gave to me when I was a bride-to-be, either in TikTok comments or just in passing or from family members or people who had gotten married before that I just listened to, but I didn't take. And this is advice I wish I would have listened to. The first tip was from someone in my TikTok comments that said to make sure your heels don't have any kind of embellishments in them or your dress will snag. I ignored it. My shoes were really cute. They were comfortable. I got a block heel. There was just like slight embellishment on the ankle strap with pearls and rhinestones. And I'd worn them before in alterations and they were fine. They were not fine. On the wedding day, I snagged my dress and the shoes all night. I was constantly pulling the dress out of the shoes. Here are the shoes in question. So cute. I love them. But yeah, snagged all night. Last thing on the shoes. Mine were about $200, so I spent a good amount of money, but they weren't Jimmy shoes. My shoes got trashed. They are now gray. I did wear them to the beach for photos, and I wasn't super careful with them, but I wouldn't get expensive wedding shoes. The second one isn't really advice, but having a second dress. So I was adamant that I was not changing out of my wedding dress. One, it was expensive, and two, I loved it, and I only got to wear it for half of a day. So I'm like, I'm not changing out of that until I have to. Looking back, I do think like a party dress, maybe like a simple satin long dress would have been more fun to dance in. It would have been easier to walk around in. This last one really pains me because I ignored the advice from TikTok, my wedding planner, my photographer, and friends. I did not listen to them when they said you have to do a first look. I was just adamant that I wanted that really authentic reaction of like the first time my husband saw me was when I was walking down the aisle. And deep down, I just really wanted him to cry. He's not a crier. And I was just like, oh, like when he sees me, he's going to get so emotional. And he did not cry. And I think I was writing my entire decision on whether or not Blake would cry, which is so stupid looking back because he's not a crier. And I also wasted valuable time where we could have done all of our portraits together earlier. I could have had more time with my bridal party. I could have enjoyed cocktail hour. And instead, I felt like I was rushing the photos so I could get to cocktail hour.
I feel like that was like a big piece of advice that I took from a lot of my friends too, is that they all suggested, and some of them did not do a first look. They all suggested do the first look. It will save you time. It will allow you to enjoy more of your day. And it's also just so emotional. Like I even sitting here, oh my God, I'm like getting teared up. I'm emotional thinking about it. Like it's crazy how emotional I feel. I've never felt all these like emotions, but I think it's like I'm so unbelievably happy and excited. So I know in my gut when I'm thinking about something, if like it's going to be right or wrong for my day. I probably will switch into party dress because I just, like I said, if I want to throw my ass in a circle in Miami, I probably want to do it at my wedding party. A little fun thing that I think is unique to ours, and then I'm going to read all the listener write-ins too after that video, is we decided that we are going to have 2 buses. We have to bus people out to the venue because it's out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. It's up against a mountain, and it's just like literally the most stunning thing you'll ever see in your whole life. Like here I go again, getting emotional. Holy shit. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? I knew when I was at that venue, when they opened the doors to show me like, this is the view, I knew in that moment it was the right venue for me. I started crying. I like full teared up in my eyes, like almost couldn't hold it in. Like I was like getting choked up, and I wasn't with Jordan. And I knew that the next time we probably saw it together would be on our wedding day. And I just like about lost it. So anyway, the advice that I'm giving and that little unique thing that we're going to do at our wedding is we're getting buses. We got to bus people out there. They're going to take them from the hotel and wherever we tell them to pick them up. After the wedding ends, which is at like 11, I think, we are going to have one bus go back to the hotel for the people that are sleepy, which is totally okay. And then one bus is going to an after party. One of our buddies kindly said that we could use his Airbnb for this party. He owns an Airbnb here, and he's going to DJ the party, and we are going to have a freaking rager for the next like 3 hours. So I am literally ecstatic. I think that you can always find workarounds. I was bummed that the venue was going to close at 11, but we found a workaround by having another party. So I'm hyped for that. Okay, listeners writing in, here is what I got for you. Get the wedding planner. This was written in probably 100 times. I'm not even lying to you. This was like the most common write-in. I wish I would have flipped my bridal party so I could have been looking at my girls. Oh, that's unique. I like that. After the ceremony, take time, just you two. That was the other one. Came from my friends, came from listeners, came from literally as many people, TikTok, everywhere. None of these are from TikTok, but I'm just saying after I've been doing my research. Don't sweat the small stuff. I didn't notice the decorations or any details that day. If financially feasible, invite all your guests to the rehearsal dinner so you can say hello first. I feel like these are common. Make a list of particular photos you want for your photographer to get. That is a good one. I'm going to take that one. Have a designated questions person, all questions direct to them so that the couple can be left alone that day. Don't spend a lot of money. No one actually enjoys the big day. Oh, I don't know about that. Better small and intimate. I disagree in some senses to this, but I do agree with like, don't spend your whole life savings on this one day, right? Preserve your flowers somehow. You will thank me later. Have a videographer. There it is again. Take a minute during the ceremony to look at the crowd. Our officiant had us do this, and it was an amazing moment to look at all the people that loved us and supported us. Oh, I love that. I have seen that at a wedding, and that was very special. It was emotional for the guests too. Ooh, I'm like emotional reading these. Jesus. Okay. Design planner was amazing to have. I've been looking into this too. Literally just do what makes you happy, and Google spreadsheets are your bestie. Make every decision with the intent of making your wedding day experience enjoyable for you. You, the common theme, putting you first. Once you have the big decisions made, let the small ones go. Don't leave any planning for the month leading up to the wedding. I think that's genius. The desserts don't matter. People hardly eat them and you will barely remember it. So don't go overboard. It's very expensive and there's a lot to stress about. So literally just don't. More about being romantic. Consider eloping with your partner. This person is saying just don't have a wedding. I also like respect that, and people eloping, I think that's a beautiful thing. Just not my vibe. I want to have a party. I'm sorry, I do. But love people who elope. I love that idea, and spending the money on like a big vacation or house or whatever it is that you're spending it on. I love that idea too. If you have second thoughts about something or a detail, change it. I wish I had a different dress and different florals, but I can't go back. Okay. Wow. That's actually good advice to like, even if you're deep into it, change it. There will always be dumb drama. Expect it. Don't dread it. Good advice. I don't like drama though. I don't really want it. Have a spreadsheet and a binder, and make the binder to keep yourself sane. Enjoy your day. Probably not everything will go as planned, but your guests won't notice. So just have so much fun. Hydrate more than usual the week leading up. I love those. I literally want to have a pen and paper out and write all of those things down. Okay. So we talked about things to do on the wedding day. We talked about all the ideas, the advice that I have, the advice I've gotten from friends, what to do with somebody you don't really know if you should invite, where to cut it off. I want to talk about the mother-in-law. I am blessed with a great mother-in-law. I am just literally blessed. I know that not everybody is blessed with that. And I have a listener, Call Syd. If you're ever where are people doing this? In my link in bio, you click get advice. You can type something there. You can also call 612-470-7569. I will get you advice. I got you. I'm the only person that listens, so don't worry. But this one is about the wedding advice and a mother-in-law and just a lot of drama. So here we go. This one is called Wedding Planning. Hi, Syd. I have loved you since day one, and I'm so proud of all you're doing. Okay. So mine isn't really a question, but I'm coming to the end of my wedding planning and what I've learned, but I am always open to suggestions on how to deal with my mother-in-law. I have a crazy mother-in-law who is an event planner. She was beyond furious when we did not ask her to be our wedding coordinator. But like I told her, I don't want her doing the work for our wedding. I'd rather her enjoy being the mother of the groom. I can never say enough how thankful I am that we didn't choose her because almost every idea she's given us is not what we are looking for. And when we say no, she gets upset because we're being mean to her, in air quotes. She doesn't like any of the ideas or decisions I've made for my wedding and loves to tell everyone that she could do a better job than I am doing. Holy God. Okay. She doesn't like how far away our venue is from her home. We're not getting married in a church. We're having barbecue style food, cookies as dessert, or that I'm not going to have a bridal shower, but a little Jack and Jill instead, which I think that's a co-ed party, I'm pretty sure. And the list goes on and on. It has been very frustrating and upsetting because this is not how I wanted our relationship to begin. There are also so many horror stories I could write about when it comes to how she's treated or talked to us, but I'll keep it short. All I can say is anyone planning their wedding, whether you are just starting out or almost done, it is your wedding and nobody else's. Do what you want to do and what makes you happy, whether it is a tradition or it's a unique idea of yours. If others aren't going to support you or make you feel bad about it, don't listen to them. I have the best partner in life and he has supported me every step of the way trying to get through this. Your partner should be there to support you, not pick sides, but support the one he or she is going to spend the rest of their life with. A freaking men to that advice. I am also so sorry that you're having such drama with your mother-in-law. I feel like this is way more common than a lot of people let out to be. I looked at a lot of TikToks about mother-in-laws and mother-in-law drama. We had a really long mother-in-law story from episode, I think it was 2 with Morgan from Two Hot Takes. And Lord have mercy to these people. I see you and hear you, and I hope that you can keep your chin up. And honestly, what a blessing you didn't have her as your planner. And also, in a way, what a blessing that you know what boundaries to set moving forward with this person. Like, how awkward would it have been setting boundaries while she was your wedding planner? It's like, ma'am, no. You might just have to realize that family is great and all, but there are times when they're just too much and you have to have a boundary, and that's what you're doing. And I'm proud of you for keeping your chin up. And thank you for that advice. And barbecue and a Jack and Jill and cookies for dessert all sound like an amazing, amazing wedding. And the best part about that is they're 100% you. So keep rocking, keep doing your thing. I love that. One listener wrote in, family members don't need to give opinions unless the bride and groom ask them to. And I believe wholeheartedly in that. I have really respected both my mom and Jordan's mom because they have always said, like, can I give my opinion on this? And they said that they literally were learning that in life with adult kids, like asking for permission to insert their opinion if asked or if wanting to share. And I feel like that has really, really helped. I also will say that Jordan's mom has been really helpful because she is as particular as I am in a way. And she helped me look at things and be like, okay, I like that. I don't like that. Like narrowing food vendors. I'm like, these are random ass companies I have never heard of in my life. Like, I feel like I'm going to my birthday party. Let's say you're having a birthday dinner and I've never eaten the food at this restaurant and I've never heard of it. And I don't even know it's on the menu, but let's go to my birthday dinner there. It's just weird. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't know what these are or what type of food this is. And you can look at menus loosely, but you have no clue if it's going to be good or not. So she's helped me like narrow based off pictures. Cause if it was my way, I am meticulous, but I have a hard time narrowing because I'm indecisive. So her decisiveness has been really complimentary, but we've set aside specific time to look at wedding stuff. And besides that, we don't really need to talk about it. We don't need to obsess over it. We just, I'm allowed to chug along on my train, and they've offered their help, which is more than enough for me and has been astronomically more helpful than like people inserting themselves in my business. I've heard people, even like with the opinion, like I talked about earlier, of like, don't do an away wedding and an away bachelorette. It's too much to ask of people. It is a lot to ask of people. And I already said that, and I already knew that. And I will single-handedly go down the line of my friends and tell them one by one that if it is too much for them, they don't need to be there. And that is okay. My one friend suggested, why don't you just do like a party in Minnesota, a smaller little get together for the people that don't want to travel, like host everybody for a brunch and maybe go like do a boozy brunch after or get a cocktail after. Like, what an easy way to involve people that maybe don't want to spend the money. So just food for thought. I want to wrap this up with helpful things I have learned about the day of. So just weddings in general. What has been the common theme? It's about you. It's your day. Sorry, Scotty just hit the microphone. This day is about you two. Don't worry about who you didn't say hi to. Enjoy every moment together celebrating. These are all listener write-ins, by the way. Let loose, enjoy it. Those moments after the reception, take a quick video of what you're feeling if you can think of it and remember to do this, which I thought was really cute, like a little selfie video on your phone of like what you're feeling and these like fresh moments of being married. Your husband or wife is priority that day. Forget about everything else. It is about you two, and do not leave your husband or wife's side during the wedding reception. This is your day to be together. I love that. Finally, a few last minute TikTok advice that I got. These were not listener write-ins, but this one just was like a unique perspective. Was steam your dress the night before. Look at venue bathrooms before booking. We definitely did this because I've been to some creepy bathroom weddings. Take vendor recommendations from other vendors. Don't be afraid to just ask all the questions. Don't forget about vendor meals, and have enough bartenders for the party that you're having. So more than one bartender for 50 people. If anybody here is from Minneapolis and you've gone to Cowboy Jack's when there's like not enough bartenders and there's 100 people waiting for their beer, it takes literally a year to get anything. So first of all, don't go to Cowboy Jack's. No, I'm kidding. But think about that when you're making your decisions on how many bartenders you think you need. One other person said foot numbing spray is an easy one to like grab onto and like put in your bag for that wedding planning or for your wedding day. And I think that's a really good idea. Okay, I keep saying last advice, but I keep finding ones that I was like, oh my God, I didn't write this down. I really like this one. Ask the officiant to give everyone 1 minute to take a selfie and send a sweet message to the bride and groom, then put the phone away. Like during the actual ceremony, the officiant, I always look out and I see a bunch of phones. Like everybody wants to capture that picture of you kissing the bride, but I would rather everybody be in the moment. And I think if you call out like, hey, phones are good for now, take a picture, well, like whatever, but then like put the phones away. I guarantee you with the photo of me kissing my fiance, now husband, is not going to go anywhere besides maybe your Instagram story one time. Like I have a photographer. I don't need you to capture it. And I'm guilty of doing this too. So let the photographer do their job. You put your phone away. You just chill, you relax, put your feet up, and just enjoy the ceremony if you can. That is where I am concluding this episode, you guys. I have a lot of planning to do. I'm like in the heat of finding a food vendor, finding how much we're going to spend on liquor, like hiring the bartenders, finding a DJ. Can we do a DJ and a band? What kind of furniture vendor am I going to do? You need a light vendor? Like, what the fuck? I had no idea about that. No idea. Trying to sort all the hair and makeup recommendations that everybody sent in for Arizona. I mean, it is absurd the amount of things that you have to look at And that is why I needed a wedding planner, and I will never look back. That is my one takeaway for you. I hired her, and I will never look back ever again on like me doing it solo, because hell to the no. But I'm going to leave you with those pieces of advice, that little food for thought. I think that was a fun episode. I love these write-ins. Keep writing things in, anything, friendships, relationships, situationships, career updates, health and wellness advice, whatever it is that you need related to lifestyle. I got you. And if I can't answer it, I will find somebody that can. My magnesium, my full on like literal thick magnesium mocktail, like sleepy time mocktail, is hitting me hard. So I need to go to bed, but I love you. I appreciate you. You being here means the world to me, and you're in a new chapter of my life. And I always said that this podcast has to ebb and flow and be able to fit into my next chapter. And we're in it. We're in wedding season. And if you're with me, I want to know. So tag me when you're listening to this episode. I want to know that when your wedding is, and what a piece of advice maybe I missed. I will try to gather those and post them somewhere on my story. So tag me if you've got advice, and let me know how you like this episode. Sorry that I took a week off. I meant to talk about this in the beginning, but I wasn't really I didn't want to start the episode like this, but I've just been having a hard time. I got off birth control about a year ago. My skin is full on reacting. I feel like it's killing my confidence, if I'm being honest. And I'm tired because work is intense, and I'm back from Colombia. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, having a business. You can't really, when you go home from work, let's say if you just work your 9 to 5, which is a lot, it's not just, but I'm just saying, and you go home and you unplug. I don't have that power. I literally could always be doing something for the podcast. So sometimes it's hard to turn off. And what did the dermatologist say today, or my naturopath people that I'm going to go see soon? They said that stress does not help acne. And it's I'm stressed out because I have acne, and I've never had acne before, and that stresses me out more. So my stress levels are higher. So I'm just trying to get my life back under me. I'm so blessed though that the person that I'm getting married to is my best friend and my partner in crime. When he knew that I had a bad day today, he immediately called me, was like, "What are you hungry for?" He picked up dinner. He was like, "Go work out because you're going to feel better when you move your body." He cooked me dinner. I came home to a cooked meal because he knew that I had a bad day. There are the most amazing people out there, and there is somebody for you. And wedding season can be hard, again, like I said, for the single ladies out there. But I promise you, it is so much better to wait for the good one than to be with a absolute dud. Okay. So please, please, please don't rush to the altar just because you want to get married, or because that's what you feel like is the next step that everyone else is in. Find the good one, and your time will come. I promise you. Okay. I got to go to bed. I'm mumbling like a motherfucking, I don't even know what is going on in my brain right now, but the sleepy time magnesium is taking me down. Okay. I love you. I will talk to you next week. Let me know what episodes I'm not talked about yet. Let me know what I need to bring you. I love you. Appreciate you. And I got to go to bed. Bye.